Hey Gary, how are you doing?
How are we?
So I was speaking with you. You told me that you got your bundle approved. So we're gonna start with that so that we can finish the process. I show you how to send at least one text message, and then you'll know how to send thousands of text messages automatically with Twilio and the MaxOut All-in-One Platform. So I'm gonna let you share your screen, Gary. And we have Mark just joining us here. Hey, Mark, how's it going?
Hey, guys, how are y'all?
So here, I'm just going to finish something with them here, something that I explained yesterday, we couldn't finish. And then Mark will jam together, okay?
Yeah, sounds good.
All right. Okay, so now if you go to the settings on the left side, Gary, settings, and then you go to phone numbers. At the top, phone numbers.
Oh, okay.
Middle. And now you're gonna click on what is it? My Zoom is in front. Add number. You're gonna select Ireland. Now you should see your bundle appear. There we go. Now you can select your address. Did you put an address in Twilio?
Yeah. I did.
You can't select the address here. Maybe we need to add it in Twilio. Okay, let's go to the bundle stuff again. Yeah, phone numbers. And then regulatory compliance. Here, if you go down, so here you have your bundle. So you see this process is going to be a bit different because each country has its own, regulatory requirements. And so we just need to addresses here on the left. Yeah, addresses. And yeah, basically, yeah, you need to add an address. One last form, and then finally we're gonna be able to have our phone number. All right, create, and now, I don't know either here.
I just took off the numbers off the address.
Yeah. Did it work? If you refresh now, do you have the address here? Okay. Okay, cool. All right, let's go back to the platform. Let's refresh the platform so that we can select your address. There we go. Okay, let's do the process. So add number, the bundle, Ireland, the bundle, the address, and then you're going to type your area code, and then you're going to be able to pick a phone number. There we go. That would be like the first 3 or 2 digits of the phone number, the area code.
Oh.
You know, for instance, in the US, if you're in San Francisco, it starts with 415. That's not the country code though, huh? It's the area code. Remove the plus then. Plus is for what? For the country?
Yeah, it's 00353.
343 is for what? For the country?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're speaking about the area code though.
I don't get.
What's your phone number? Yeah.
085 1389620. So it'll be 85.
Just type maybe the first 2 digits or the first 3 digits of your phone number. It's without the country code, huh? Without the country code, it's just.
Yeah, it's 940 here in where I'm at, but I think I don't know that Ireland has those. It might be small enough that it just has country code exclusively. I'm not sure.
What if you just put nothing here and you click on search? You're not familiar with what an area code is here? What if you just click search here? Does that find something?
No.
What is your phone number without the country code, Gary?
085 138 9600.
So what is the country code? Remove the country code and you start with maybe the first 2 digits.
So I'm at the Google and Dublin area code, and it's 01.
Yeah, I don't know here. I'm not from Ireland, so I'm not sure how to help here.
Yeah, Ireland's pretty small, so like in the UK, their country code is +44 something, whatever, 00445.
Yeah, that's the country code. We want the area code, not the country code.
Yeah, the area code for me is 01.
Yes, that would be +1. That's the country code. And then after the +1, the 3 digits after the country code is the area code.
Yeah, he's saying use it. He's saying they select a UK one, which may work.
Maybe try 3 digits. I don't know. What would be the 3rd digit?
Area code.
Have you tried 353? It says.
Yeah,
That's
what
353 is for the country code, no?
that's the country code, yeah.
Yeah, we want the area code.
Did you try 353?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to spend too much time on this. Anyway, that's how you would create a phone number. If we find the right area code, and then that's it. I told you yesterday how to send text messages. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't want us to spend all of our time on this.
I'll have a look while.
Yeah, let's
you
do
go there
figure that
talking.
out,
Yeah.
Gary. Okay, and then.
Yeah,
But then I showed you yesterday the rest, right? 01.
I'll have a look and see.
I think we tried 01. Yeah, you tried 01.
Try 01.
Okay. Okay. I'll help you. Maybe we'll do a one-on-one call together, Gary, and I'll help you. I don't want to waste too much time here since it's a group
cool.
call. Maybe just one last thing you would need to do, Gary. If you go back to Twilio, somewhere you have SMS, I believe. Share your screen real quick. There is one last thing that we might need to activate if you share your screen again for Twilio. If you go to yeah, programmable, this one, the below, yeah, below this one, programmable. No, it's not here. It's something about SMS, or maybe it's not in here. Messaging services, maybe messaging services on the left. Yeah, messaging services. We should find a geo localization. Click on the left and let's find that geo localization. Yeah, it's somewhere in here, or maybe in phone number. Yeah, phone numbers. Then yeah, try this one, maybe all products. Yeah, there we go. It was the last one, all products. Okay, and then click on the messaging. Oh, so we're back here. Hold on, let me just try to find that link real quick on my side here. Twilio geolocalization.
Is it geo permissions?
Yeah, geo permissions. Where do you find it? Sorry.
Yeah, so it's in programmable mesh again. And
Oh
then
yeah, we need to open the settings. Okay, settings and then geo permission. Yeah, and then just select RNN basically. Oh, you don't find the RNN here? Or what if you just say Europe? I think there is an option for Europe because I think here, if you go back up, you're in Asia right now. Just go to Europe. If you go down all the way down, go to Europe. You're in Asia right now. It's there you go. And now Ireland. Did you find it? Yeah. Okay. It was already on.
yeah, it was already on. Yeah.
Okay. We just need to double check that. All right. And then I'll help you to create that phone number, Gary. Okay. It shouldn't be that hard. Okay, you can stop sharing your screen.
Cool.
And then you have your phone number, and that's it. Then you can start sending text messages, and I send you the template for the messages, right? All right. So I just wanted to bring Mark on. Mark is a gym owner in Texas. He's a CrossFit gym owner. He has been a gym owner for now 11 years, right, Mark?
That's right.
I think that Mark did my program almost 3 years ago, right? 3 years ago, I believe.
Yeah, right around 3 years ago.
Yeah, maybe 2 years and a half, 3 years ago.
No, I think it was 3.
Got great results with the program, and since then he has been one of the mentors at MaxOut Gym. We have several mentors. He's one of them, and so I just wanted to bring him here on this last day of the 5-day challenge on how to generate 10K in 10 days. So basically, just to recap, on day 1 we spoke about how to become more premium, right? So that we can improve our services, we become more transformational, therefore we can charge more. On day 2, we showed you how to coach people on their mindset, because that's basically the one thing that you can use to differentiate yourself from the competition. Day 3, I showed you the sales process to enroll people into a more premium program. Day 4, I showed you the tech stuff. And now day 5, I want to speak about, the insights from Mark on how to become more premium, how to do that mindset coaching, that health coaching, and why it's important. Actually, you have a cool story to share, Mark, about one of your clients that has been a member at your gym for, let's say, 2 or 3 years, I believe, right? And was kind of like plateauing, and then became a health coaching client where you were also helping him with his mindset, and then boom, his results got much better. How to schedule appointments? How do we do that, Mark? How do we make sure that they also show up for their consultations? How do we enroll them? I already explained how to enroll people, right? But what's your point of view? I think one of the concerns is like, oh, I don't want to enroll people on a challenge. Yeah, the goal is to enroll people on a membership. Actually, Mark, you enroll probably 95% of your people into a membership, right? Even if you can enroll them on a challenge, for 95% of the time, you enroll them on a more premium membership, right? We just use a challenge so that we have a short, sexy offer that is not too intimidating. We attract them with that, but then we sell them what they need, and oftentimes what they need is actually a membership and not just a short program. How do we keep them? How do we retain them? How it is possible to generate 10K in 10 days by doing that, especially, let's say, we take the example of Gary that is here. He has 257 members right now. He has thousands of leads. If he would just upsell his clients, that's it. He could make already way more than 10K. And then if he also follow up with his old leads, he could make another 10K easy, right? And also, if you can explain, Mark, how you can actually delegate all those things to a sales manager like you did it with Liz.
That was the first thing I was going to talk about is someone like Gary. If you have that many, so what? Let me get a read here. So we got, is it Judith? Am I saying your name right? Judith, Gary, Shani, 18, Kara, and Eric. Okay, are we working with mostly CrossFit gym owners, or what kind of businesses are we referring to?
Gary, you want to go ahead?
Right. Well, I guess Remy, if you just give me a read of the room real quick.
Yeah, I think Gary is a CrossFit. I believe that Eric also is CrossFit. Shandy, are you CrossFit affiliated?
Personal training studio for Gary. Okay, cool. Wow, you have 250 clients that are all doing personal training, Gary?
So either 4 to 1 or 6 to 1. Four clients to one trainer, or 6 clients to one trainer.
All right, that's awesome. That's really
So
cool.
we have Eric that is CrossFit here. I know for sure Eric is a CrossFit, and Shandy, I don't remember. If my notes.
Owner, which is great.
Yeah, we
Okay.
Functional fitness, air quotes.
Okay, I'm with you. Cool. Yeah. So I don't know. As far as I'm concerned, one of the first things that was really important to me was figuring out how to, there's kind of like a bubble on like what you can do as a one man show, and my goal at first was to push that bubble as far as I could. And then I realized at one point I was like, probably need some help, And then when I realized I needed help, I was like, okay, these things that I need help with are really kind of like, they're things that really could be like somebody could spend their full freaking job doing this. I used to work like 110 hours a week trying to get my business off the ground. I'm sure you guys can relate to some extent. I did that for like 3 years before I really had like a plan and understood like what I was doing or any kind of like consistent like approach for establishing new clients or anything like that, which I'll tell you, I think is the biggest asset to what Remy can help you with, is being able to have there's a lot of them, but I think that's the biggest one, is if you're going to lose somebody at some point in time, because people are going to leave eventually. It's just part of the deal. They move. Knowing that you have a plan for how to get new blood in the door, after that, it brings a lot of peace of mind. And so anyways, that's where I kind of say, for me, I think one of the biggest things that was interesting was I needed to learn, once you get past that bubble of what you're capable of doing by yourself, when you wanted to get into like really being able to generate a lot of profit, I found that I needed to be able to delegate things to people and let my staff, first of all, have a staff, and then grow my staff and let my staff have a pathway to being able to be successful. And so I think with the premium concept, one of the things that's a real advantage is you now have additional streams of revenue. And so now you have people in your business who want to be able to make more money. And now you have a way of actually providing that for them. You have a way of actually allowing them to, I mean, you guys are all gym owners. You know how this works just as well as I do. Is, if you go to the gym, you put in work, you'll get results, right? If you eat right, train hard, you'll see results, whatever the discipline is, right? Be it CrossFit, be it, I don't know, Kung Fu, whatever it may be. If you eat right and train hard, you'll see results. And so it's kind of the same thing in business. If you're willing to put in the work, you should be rewarding accordingly. And so one of my big things was I wanted to create a pathway for my staff to be able to be successful. And so that started off with creating new opportunities, which was my premium approach, where I have my health coaching, which consists of nutrition and life coaching. So we have like this umbrella, we call it health coaching. And then within that's kind of like nutrition coaching and life coaching, because those two, and like habits and mindset, whatever you want to call it, it's all terminology, but it's essentially the same concept. But those two things really go together. You can't just like tell a person, here's how I suggest that you eat, and have no concept of like how their life works. Like I have some guys who are salesmen, and I know that they don't get a chance to eat, but like, once or twice a day. And I was like, okay, well, we're going to do intentional intermittent fasting for you because you kind of already do it on purpose or on accident. Now let's just be specific about it, but I had to learn about their lives in order for that to be able to be something I could tell them. And then I got this 76-year-old man who's like, I want to be jacked like Arnold. I'm like, okay, well, I mean, he's like a beanpole too, which is great. And I was like, all right, well, you're going to have to eat a lot of times throughout the day. And he's like, you know what, man, there's those people who are like, they say there's a cat that eats just to stay alive. And then there's the cat that stays alive so it gets to eat. And I'm that cat. I stay alive so I get to eat. I was like, okay, so intermittent fasting is going to suck for you, So we did, like a high frequency. Anyway, so my point is you have to learn about their lives in order for this to work with regards to nutrition and life coaching. But the reason why I bring that up is, there's only so many hours a day that you have within your business to be able to be coaching or running classes or personal training or whatever it is. So if you want to kind of push past that and be able to find new ways of giving your staff, you can't just pay someone more to do the same thing. You're like, all right, cool. Well, you used to make $18 an hour. Now I'm going to pay you $45 an hour. You're like, what just changed? Like, how did that happen? Right. It doesn't really work like that. You have to have additional pathways for them to generate income because of their own efforts. And so having additional streams of revenue was a key way for me to be able to allow my staff to grow their incomes, to where my staff's incomes a lot of times were bigger than a lot of the gym owners that I work with. Almost every single gym, like I'll say 80% of the gym owners that I've worked with over the years working with Remy, I worked with him for 2.5 years now. And I'd say 80% of the gym owners that I work with, when I start with them, their income is less than my staff makes. And then obviously that changes, and the gym owners make all kinds of money once we implement the system. But that's often the starting point, maybe, I mean, even less, they may make similar to my part-time. But the reason why is because those people, that's not to say I'm awesome. I don't want to come across like that by any means. So please hear me clearly. What I'm saying is, when you can establish a pathway for your staff to be able to grow their income through having multiple streams of revenue, you can really be successful in multiplying your own revenue too, and your own profit rather as well on top of that. So I hope I haven't strayed from the things you were talking about. Remy, why don't you re-rail me, help me to know what you want me to talk about next.
So yeah, that was great. That part on the importance of delegating. Yeah, can you please explain what it means to you? Health coaching, mindset coaching. Can you give us that story? With that guy that was not getting any result, even if he was a member for years with you at the gym. What happened when you on as a health coaching, mindset coaching client? What changed? What was the breakthrough he got? If you can explain that.
Yeah, his name's James. He's like 33, 34 years old. He's gone through a lot over the years. When I first met him, he had just had his third kid. His wife had just had their third kid, and boom, boom, boom. You're young, you have 3 kids. It's a lot, right? And so he has a sales job where he travels all over the world, or at least all over the U.S. very frequently. And he's been a member of mine for like 6 or 7 years. Just sometimes we. Yeah, sometimes we see him, sometimes we don't. Most of the time we don't see him, and he's like, "Hey, man, just want to say you're welcome for that deposit into your bank account this week or this month or whatever." And I'm like, I mean, thank you, but like that's not what I want. I do I say thank you? Do I give your money back? Like this, whatever, I'll take it. And I couldn't get him to be consistent to save my life, and he couldn't get himself to be consistent either. It just really frustrated him. So I was like, why don't you do my health coaching program? And, it's a 3-tiered program. It starts with just getting your mind on the right track. And then once you've got your mind on the right track, then we move over and we start talking about nutrition next. And then once you've gotten to where we've done nutrition for a while and you've lost some weight, then we talk about any performance related things that we need to do in the gym. So it's kind of like, and then the whole time we're constantly cycling back to that mindset nutrition the whole time as we go. And with James, what was interesting is, I really expected that we would talk about nutrition for a while and then get into the gym and stuff at some point. But it ended up that he just had a lot of baggage on the inside that he wasn't letting go of. And he couldn't figure out how to sift through it to be able to have, thoughts about himself that were positive enough that he would give himself a chance. And so I was able to identify a lot of the negativity that he spoke over himself and help him to learn how to stop talking like that to himself, because, your words have power. And so I said, first of all, you just stop using those words, and then from there, his thoughts about himself began to change a little bit. And he's always been the guy who can come in and train real hard for a while, but like never has any like consistency with his nutrition. And so when I finally was able to break through his mindset and help him to realize, that he's valuable and that he doesn't have to just basically talk shit on himself all day long, he started to see himself differently. And then when he began to see himself differently, his nutritional choices changed. And then once his nutritional choices changed, his performance in the gym followed suit as well. And then most recently, his dad died. And Remy, you don't know this part of the story, but most recently his dad died. And over the last little bit, I've been chatting with him, and he's like, this is what he told me. And this is kind of why I'm so happy with this situation is prior to his dad dying, he was really inconsistent. I guess he had a lot of stuff going on, like I said, dude's got a lot of baggage. He's no longer with his wife that he has 3 kids with, there's a lot going on in this guy's life. And he said, yeah, man, I just want to let you know, I haven't been in the gym a whole lot lately, like in 6 weeks, but I want you to know that I still feel like I'm taking good care of myself. And I still feel like I'm being as healthy as I really ever have been, even if I was going to the gym, because even when I'm not there, I'm actually following, some of the nutritional tips that you gave me. And my nutrition is probably as good or better now than it's ever been, because I know I have to, because I can't get to the gym as often. And in the past, this was the guy that, like, if he wasn't at the gym, he's just going to be throwing the nutrition out the window, right? If he was at the gym, he'd train hard and still throw the nutrition out the window. And then if he wasn't at the gym, it was even worse, right? And now he's like, hey, I may have not been in the gym the last little bit because I've had a lot of things going on, like legitimate stuff on his plate. But he's like, but thanks to everything that you've enlightened me with, my nutrition is still as good or better than it has ever been. And I'm still losing weight. And I'm still thankful for everything that we've gotten to talk about. I'll be back in the gym as soon as I'm able to. And he legitimately means that. Sure enough, we see him get back into the gym and he looks great. All things considered, I feel like this was a very, very useful experience on my end to contact him and ask him to pay, 2-3 times his membership, whatever it is, to meet with me once a week, because here I am in 7 meetings with him and I haven't been able to see him quite as consistently over the last little bit, but here I am getting to watch a guy's life be changed. I'm seeing him I don't have to hold his hand anymore, and he's still seeing the results of what he paid for with me. And so to me, there's a lot of value in that. There's a lot of power in that, knowing that even when, that's the whole thing, right? When we raise our kids or whatever too, I don't know if any of you guys have kids, I got 2 of them, but eventually you can't hold their hand anymore, right? You got to let them fly. And so same thing with your clients. They have to have the mindset, have to have the conviction in their heart and in their mind that what they're doing is important, such that it'll actually carry with them whenever you're not just like up their butt and around their corner, And that's what happened. I was able to change this guy's mind about the way he saw himself. And what he's thankful to me for more than anything is the fact that he now likes himself better. He now feels more positive and optimistic about the way he sees himself. And the results are like almost natural. It's almost like I don't even have to talk about nutrition, because he's like, no, I'm worth it. I should probably get a salad today from, whatever the fast food restaurant is, because they have a salad. I could get a cheeseburger and fries, but I'm actually valuable enough that I should take care of my body. And I don't know, that's a pretty cool deal if you ask me.
You know, sometimes people just need that breakthrough and that's it. You would,
Yep.
you know, you change their life. Do you guys remember when on Tuesday we spoke about you know, one of our gym owner clients actually was an S. They are partners. It's two guys in Europe. They had that call with Lauren. Then that's it. They got the breakthrough they needed. And so I'm just gonna share real quick my screen. Now that's what they write. That's what they're writing now. I posted a message this week in our Jim's Facebook group, trying to motivate a large portion of our inactive members. It somehow got a lot of people moving. What do you mean somehow? It's because they got their mindset in the right place, and therefore now they can help other people with their mindset, right? It's not magic somehow. It's because they spoke, you know, with Lauren and they got that breakthrough, right? So I thought I would share it here. Maybe your members deal with the similar issues. I quickly translate from Dutch to English. It's cold outside. I rather stay inside. I don't like training at home. I prefer to watch TV. I work 9 hours today, so I don't have the time in my remaining 13 hours of the day to train. There is a virus in circulation, so I will wait for it to pass. Does this little voice sound familiar to you? Have you? How do you react when you see this little voice passing by? Are you listening to it? Do you believe it? How far has this voice taken you in life so far? When all the stars in the sky are exactly in the right place, when I feel 100% well, when I'm not in pain, when the virus is completely wiped out, when I have access to the best material, then I will really start. Guys, tomorrow is not coming. It's always today and always now. And there's always something going on. Why do we convince ourselves that if things don't go our way, that is a valid excuse for being so passive? You can always move. You can always work on your health. You can always stay fit. And you see now how he's now being the leader he needs to be, right? Just because they needed to speak that you know, during 1 hour with Lauren. I actually watched the recording, right, of that call that they had with Lauren. You know, they were a bit depressed and they were like, shit, we are, you know, bleeding members, members per week. But look at them now, right? And it's really with all the programs that we have been rolling out for you in recent months. Nor do we need to explain to you why exercise is so important. You already know that. And especially during this period, we've been offering online training course for months, and I've been training outside for weeks. Where is everyone? Take action, join. Do you have trouble with something? Do you find it difficult to climb over those self-beginning thoughts? We're here to help you with this, and we'll get you through it together. What if the government remains in this fear grip for the next year? Will we therefore remain inactive for the next year as well? Do you actually want to wait for someone else's decision to take action? We have been in this crisis for a year now. It does not look like it will change anytime soon. It hurts to see that we as humans are so easily giving in. We write great programs every week for you to follow individually at home and or together outside of the gym. Come on, guys, let's go. Next week, we'll have spring temperatures again, so at least one less excuses. We will see you again this week. Much love, and then they signed. Yeah.
Did you hear what happened since that?
Actually, I didn't. No, I didn't get to speak with them since.
So
What happened?
I had 2 calls with them before they talked with Lauren, and then I had 1 call to follow them after that. And for the 2 before, they were like, ooh, like Eeyore from Winnie the Pooh, and then I talked with them yesterday or the day before, and Mark was like, yeah, man, signed up 4 people yesterday, and I got more intakes coming tomorrow. And I'm like, okay,
there we go. Right, there we go. They had already all the strategies, right? They already went through the 27 hours of sales training, plus we role played, plus they have access to the full script, not just the cheat sheet. Plus they know we have a way more intensive program on how to become more premium. We have a way more intensive program on how to coach mindset. You know, they had everything. And also they are trained on how to use the MaxOut platform, not just sending text messages, but the whole thing. They had everything, right? Yet they were not doing it. They had all the strategies, but they had like a limiting belief somehow, you know, and they needed to speak with Lauren, and that's it. Now, bam, results. right? They signed up 4 clients in a day, you said? There we go.
I think so, yeah. And he has some PTs that are coming too, which are pretty high dollar for them.
There we go. All right. So here we see the power of, you know, Mark and I and Lauren coaching gym owners, but also you're going to see the power if you do it as well with your own members. Yeah. All right. What would you say, Mark? What's the best way? You know, here I showed them how to send thousands of text messages to old leads, how to follow up with all the current clients automatically, right? Then what do we do? How do we take it from there? You know, how do we build a rapport, trust, you know, with those old leads so that we make them book an appointment? Also with the current clients, you already have a lot of trust and rapport with them, but still, you know, we need to make them book that appointment. What's the best way to make them book that one-on-one consultation, and how to make them show up to that one-on-one consultation? What would you say about this?
You know, I'm a big fan of the video messages. Does the platform do video messages?
Yeah, we can drop. Yeah.
Okay. I like those, especially if you're on like doing any Facebook Messenger, if you're doing any ads through Facebook Messenger or anything like that. Video message. What's that?
I didn't show them how to do ads, right?
Okay.
We didn't have time to do it all. Here it's just the strategy on
Okay.
how to upsell current clients, follow up with all leads just by sending a text message using the MaxOut All-In-One. Okay.
Yeah, I really like video messages personally. I think they're very you can be really genuine with them. I think the biggest downfall whenever I see people try and do video messages is they do it like as if they're like writing an email to somebody in like corporate America or something, or the corporate world. And I'm like, they're like, hello. They're like holding the phone in front of them and they're like, hello, I see that you have received my text message. I now want to follow up and give you a video message. And I'm like, the hell was that? Like, I would not respond if you gave me that, you know, but I would give you like, hey, what's going on? I haven't seen you in a while, and I just wanted to see if you're interested in coming back to the gym, whatever it is. We got some new programs going on. Is that something you're interested in? Whatever it may be. So I like video messages a lot. There's also just the consistency game, which I think a lot of times people. So as a gym owner who's had a sales manager for a number of years now, I can tell you that there's a weird fear of like overwhelming people. And so what ends up happening is it seems like people underwhelm them. And it's like, it almost feels like you don't really care that much, which I know it kind of sounds weird to say this, but like you almost kind of got to make them tell you no. You got to make them tell you to go home and get lost, you know, like being consistent with them. Like there's a certain interval rate that I think is appropriate, but if they're ghosting you or if you haven't gotten consistent answers, I don't stop until I hear something from them. That is, to me, is one of the best ways, is to not stop texting them or calling them or sending them stuff until they tell you, hey, I'm not going to come, or awesome, I'll be there. Something that Remy kind of taught me a while back was that, you know, you being their coach starts now, and you're advocating on their behalf now, right? And their laziness to click, hey, I'm interested in whatever this is, and type back to you. Their laziness in doing that is no different than their laziness to finish their burpees, you know, whatever it may be, you know. And so as their coach now, I want to push them through that and help them get to a place where they're ready to take that choice, take that step even now. I don't want to wait for them to maybe decide that they might want to come around. Like, I'm going to keep contacting them until they tell me to pound sand, pretty much. But you can do it in a loving and cool way. It doesn't have to be like obnoxious or annoying. It can be done well. So the automations, I think, that you'll see in the program will be a huge advantage in getting people to show up. But the biggest thing for me is like, you got to be like as real as possible. I think my show up rates have always been super high, even compared to my staff, because I'm not a robot. I'm not sending you an email in corporate world. I'm a dude who wants you to be fit and wants you to be successful, and I let my heart come out whenever we're talking. Someone had a question. Go ahead.
Yeah. So, hey, I'm Eric. I
Eric.
own and operate a CrossFit gym, 10 years in. Yeah. So Remy talked a lot over the past few days about ideal clients, and what we have found as far as like that hard sell, that long conversation is, and this may address kind of that fear you were talking about, is I don't know that those guys are my ideal clients, the ones that need their hands held so much and so much going on, because, you know, we expend a lot of energy on these people that I could be spending on somebody that really wants it. And, you know, at some point, you know, if they're not going to show up and come to the gym and do the work, I want to give my attention to somebody that is. And
Yeah, I like that.
You know, when I hard sell somebody and convince them to come in, you know, if their mindset isn't, you know, if they're not willing to like fix that, then I'm not willing to work with them. I don't want to work with them.
So
What
I
do you
get
mean by
that for.
we're not hard selling already, huh?
I think he's putting two things together. I would say this is less about like a hard sale and like a long conversation to try and yank them to get in. Because I do get what you're saying there. That can be draining and exhausting and like the beginning of even more of a pain in the ass, right? You're like, dude, you're making me crazy. I don't want to work
The
with you.
purpose of that one-on-one consultation is actually to push away the ones that wouldn't be committed and to only invite the ones that are 100% committed.
Yeah, I'm not really talking about that so much. That is true for sure, but and that kind of helps with that some for sure, Eric. But as far as like getting the people to show up in the first place, I know a lot of people just deal with social anxiety and they're afraid to get started. But as soon as they get it rolling, they're good, you know. And so
I'm more talking about the clients that are, you know, that are started. Maybe they're in a 6-week program, or, you know, and they're the ones that stop showing up after week 3, or they're, you know, 3 months in and they've always, you know, in the beginning, they asked us like a million really stupid questions about nutrition and stuff. We helped them with that. And it's constantly still like, they're just not doing the work and getting it. You know, they still don't understand why, you know, they can't drink a whole, you know, all night long or whatever it is. And, you know, they don't, you know, they come once 1 week, 3 times the next week, nothing the next week. You know, I'm done with them. I don't know. To me, I'm just like, you know, I'm done answering your questions over emails and phones. If you're not going to walk in, I'm not going to talk to you. If you come in, we'll talk.
yeah, I was
What
thinking
if
we were talking about
price, Eric? Would you be done still doing it?
What is that?
If you charge 2 or 3 or 4 or even 5x the price, will you still be done helping them with that?
I guess that goes to another question that I just kind of have about the whole idea of, you know, moving to a premium offering. I still have a lot of capacity for my regular offering, right? So I'm already paying overhead for a class that's not full. And why do I want to put in a whole lot of work on premium offerings when I can still, like, for the same amount of overhead, make more money if my classes were more full? Like, I'm not ready to add more work, you know, for people when I have, like, the work I'm already putting in isn't at optimized, right?
Yeah. How many clients do you have right now, Eric?
Right now we're at 180. You know, we've been at 200, and then COVID, we kind of took a big dip and built back. So I'm about 180, plus I have about 20 something teens. So you know, but they're on like a punch card and they're about to start their sports back up.
And what's your maximum capacity?
So I have some classes that only have like 7 people in them, 6 people in them in a class, right? And
how many classes?
7.
7. And then what's your square footage?
The gym floor is 6,000 plus outdoor space, lobbies, and bathrooms. So we're up around 10,000 total.
Yeah. Yeah, you definitely got room to grow. Okay,
COVID
I'll speak
limits that, right? Because we have this social distance squares, and there's only so many rowers, and there's only so many bikes, and there's only so many, you know. But yeah, we're positioned to fill those classes back up.
Yeah, definitely. Where are y'all located again?
Tennessee.
Oh, cool. So two thoughts on that. First of all, what I was saying earlier about getting people to show up is very different than the conversation we're having now. So I just wanted to say that.
Yeah, I'm
What's
not
that?
really worried about the the leads and the sales part of it.
Okay.
That's a whole
Yeah,
different.
right. It is. And I want to distinguish that because for me, I'm talking about the show up rate, like getting a person to show up for the first time.
Yeah, I get that.
Hammer them the first time as to get them to show up the first time. I'll hammer them all day long. Once they're here, I take a completely different approach. And that has two parts to it. Once they're here, I'm with you. Like unless they're going to be a health coach, they're not going to hear from me very often. Unless they're going to be one of my health coaching clients. Like if you want me contacting you regularly, you're going to pay a shit ton for it because I got shit to do and I'm not going to be up your ass like without like real live dollars in my pocket for it because I'm a professional at this and I'm here to help you, but you have to show me that you care enough for me to actually spend the time helping you. Because if not, I got a lot of other people that I would love to be helping them change their lives, right? That's kind of your point, right? And if you came and you signed up and 3 months in, you're still not wanting to do this anymore, like I did everything I could, like, okay, I take a different approach. So the approach I take now is I have two parts to it. One is the concept that I use when it comes to health coaching is I can never motivate somebody externally to do something, right? I don't really believe that external motivation is really even like a thing. What I believe is that at some point in time, if you want to get somebody to do something, you have to first get it through their head to build a level of conviction within their heart and their mind that what they're there to do is important to them. And if you've gotten them to believe that what they're there to do is important to them, then hopefully that should start stimulating other actions is the goal, right? And so for me, I used to have a staff member whose full-time job was to just text people regularly to like when they hadn't been there. And like we did automation that too. And usually what that ended up doing is people would be like, oh shit, you know what? I forgot that I'm still paying for that thing. Why don't you go ahead and cancel my membership?
Yeah. Oh, that's a big fear.
Yeah.
Big fear. Like, I don't want to remind this guy.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I don't blame. And so I swiped that. I was like, okay, this is clearly not working. I swiped that. And instead what I do is I inspire their way back in here. So I help them to learn how to be convicted of the importance of what it is that we're doing here. And then see stories from my gym members of people who are being successful and then allow that to be the thing that inspires them back into the gym, which it's worked out really well because with the MaxOut system, you learn how to do ads. And so for me, I don't actually text these people. I don't be like, hey, have you seen this inspirational thing? But I've seen it over and over again, specifically over the last like month or two, where I'll launch an ad of an inspirational story from somebody from my gym. And then I'll see a bunch of people in the gym that next day or next week who saw that ad that were already clients and they had just been slacking for a little while. So it kind of functions as a way of generating a pipeline of new leads while also functioning as my retention strategy for right now. So for me, I'm a big fan in terms of dealing with that situation that you're talking about right now. I'm a big fan of inspiring them back into the gym, but it has to be done at a rate that is consistent with like the amount of time that you have to offer. And if a person needs for me to be on them constantly, there's a chance that I need to realize that person might be leaving soon because they clearly don't understand what we do here. They don't value what we do here. I'm out, right? But I also know that because of this system, I can get a new client to fill their spot like that. And so I'll let the new come in and I'll take care of them and I'll try and make sure that I do a better job. If there's anything I can think of, I always try and take these as learning experiences to an extent. How did I not let that person get inspired? What did I do to have that person not be inspired? And so I'm like, okay, well, going forward, I'm going to try and make sure that in the future, the next person I get maintains their inspiration. And so what you're like that situation, like you're talking about, sometimes that person just needs some TLC. And sometimes the TLC that person needs is a slap on the butt from maybe like an ad to realize, maybe they see someone on one of my ads. I just watched one recently that said like, there was this girl who was talking about how she used to be so scared to come in. And she was like, but you got to just do it. You got to go and you got to go again. Because if you don't go enough, you're going to be sore. Just do it. And, she's, going on like this. I'm sure you've seen these types of ads. And my existing client saw it, was inspired, came back, brought their family with them. And now they're back on track again, So I hope that kind of gives a little bit of an idea of kind of how I'm describing that process, Eric. Because yeah, you're right. Like if a person is showing that they don't want to be a part of what we're doing, you can't pull their teeth about it. You can change their mindset. Hopefully, if they're a lower dollar client, you can change their mindset with, ads and inspirational stories, and you could send something to them to hopefully try and inspire them. For me, something that I do a lot of is like, there's like a Tuesday talk you can do where you kind of share your heart with your clients about like why it is that you do what you do. I always go back to the vision and mission thing. If you know what your vision is and you have a mission that follows it, you need to cast that sucker constantly be casting out your vision so that people aren't aligning with you as a person, but they're aligning with your business. For me, that's been huge for keeping people inspired. Is like during COVID, it was like, hey guys, my vision is to empower people to live an active and healthy lifestyle. And my mission has always been to do it through classes and personal training and nutrition coaching. But right now, I don't get the opportunity to do my mission the way that I have been, but I can still have this same vision. And so the mission has to change a little bit right now. And so here I am constantly casting out my vision and my mission to people and helping them to align with it. And the more a person's going to align with your vision and mission, the more inspired they're going to be. And the more they're going to understand why it is that you do what you do. And then if they understand why you do what you do, hopefully they'll start to see value in it. And then they'll be like, okay, cool. It's something I want to be on board with. So
right.
that helps a lot with the retention thing too.
Okay. That's good.
That helps, Eric?
Yeah. That helps.
Awesome.
Kind of like a big rat hole. I spend a lot of my time with gym owners talking about these kind of things on how to inspire people back into the gym and how to help with this kind of stuff. So this is definitely something to talk more about for sure. Like I say, do they know how the course works, how the bigger program works, Remy?
No, we just want to provide them with a quick win, and then if they want, they can.
What I was going to say,
but first, let's get them a quick win. Yeah,
for sure. So what I was going to say is, like, I mean, that thing we just talked about, I mean, there's a lot more that goes into that. And I mean, I have clients that I'll speak with them over that for like a year, and we'll talk about it for a year on like how to implement that in a variety of different environments within your gym, because, day-to-day processes are constantly going to change. Like, well, how do I implement that here in this situation? And so anyway, I just had that call just yesterday with a client from Indiana on how to implement her vision and her mission in an inspiring way to her clients, given the new set of things that she was dealing with in the time. But yeah, anyway, more on that if you want it. So,
yesterday, Eric, I explained not yesterday, 2 days ago, I explained the sales process, right? Basically, it's M for mingle, A for ask about the hell and the heaven, and then X for X factor. Do you have the X factor for you to be my ideal client? So here I recommended some stuff. I recommended the 3 mindset traits. I recommended some other things, but actually here it's whatever you want. For you to only invite your ideal clients. So here you can really size them up really strongly, right? You can really size them up hard, and you only invite your ideal clients. Yeah.
How do you tell them they're not your ideal client without creating an enemy?
Yeah, I have a trick for that. It's yeah. So tell them the truth is always good. Well, first of all, if they're begging to be a part of your gym, they probably just are your ideal client. So if they're like, oh man, please let me be a part of your gym, you're like, you're not my ideal client. Like that doesn't really happen very often, because if they're begging to be a part of it, they're probably good to go. So that's good to keep in mind.
Okay, the official answer to that question, Eric, is, well, you would just tell them the truth, and you would say, hey, if you're only a 7 out of 10 on your commitment, I hate to say, but looks like you're not a fit for our program. We only invite people who are 10 out of 10 on their commitment levels. So what I would recommend in the meantime, is that you start walking 15-20 minutes a day, right? And that also you stop drinking soda. Just start with that, and then if you find some motivation, and if you become a 10 out of 10 on your commitment, then you're very welcome to come back in a month or 2 once you found that motivation in yourself. But for now, I think it's best we part ways. Fair enough?
A lot of times
Okay,
if you
yeah.
do that, they'll be begging for you. If you do that, they're like, oh, no, I really can do it. You're like, so now you're a 10. And they're like, yeah. Now I'm a 10. You're like, okay, I'm signing this contract here. 12 months, $300 cancellation fee. Thank you.
Yeah.
It's big.
Basically,
time-
when they understand, I told you at the beginning of day 3, I told you we don't give a shit about the money. And then when they start realizing that you actually really mean it, that you're not here to close them, and that you're willing to say no to the money, they're like, what? You're saying no to the money? And they're completely like, they don't understand. They're mind blown by that. And then
Yeah.
they want it,
Yep.
you know? Like, what? You're not trying to sell me? Well, come on, sell me, you know? And when they realize that, no, you are not gonna sell them because an hour later you're gonna have another consultation. An hour after that you're gonna have another consultation, and
Right.
another after that you're gonna have another consultation. And actually, your sales manager at the same time is gonna have also consultations at the same time. And that day you're gonna have maybe 10 consultations. And so you don't care about closing that person or not. You know that you're gonna have 9 other consultations that day. And so you're only here, your job is only to find out who is committed and who is not. And you invite the committed ones, and you don't invite the ones that are, lazy and not coachable and not that committed.
Yeah, and I will say it does happen sometimes that you tell them that that it's not a good fit for them or whatever, and they're like, no, come on, and like you'll see them change their heart. They're like, oh, you're not just after my money for some reason, like I thought you were, and you're like, no, and they're like, okay, cool, I want to do it. Well, that is the situation in which I have contracts. It's like, look, you said you wanted to do this. Here are the terms. You don't have my cell phone number, and yeah, keep it simple, But yeah,
So that's
that's
all. You're really part ways, right?
yeah,
That's the official MaxOut Your Gym answer. Okay.
yeah. But I have taken, not to go against what you're saying, but I have taken clients that I know, I'm like, I really want you to be successful with this, but I know that I have this feeling that you're probably not going to have the guts for it. I'll give you a shot. I'll try it, but I do have a contract to keep me from getting into a pickle. If you start expecting all these things from me or whatever, and all of a sudden you're like, well, you didn't give me results. I'm like, hold on. We signed a contract that said that you were going to come and you were going to put in the work and you were going to get the results. And I just said that I would have the classes and have the infrastructure for you to have it. But I never said I was going to do it for you, So that's where, to me, contracts are really valuable. But
Yeah.
anytime you're truthful with as they're talking, it always is going to help them to be able to understand like what they actually think about themselves, which is key to setting on the right foot.
What's best is not to invite them so that they don't give you headaches, and you just focus your time and your energy on actually finding the ones that are already committed, who are already committed. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, then you're gonna have to argue with them. You signed a contract, blah blah blah, and oh yeah, but no, it's not for me, and then they're gonna give you headaches. It's better to say no to the money, and next one, just find the next motivated one.
Yeah.
Right.
To
You're
Eric's
gonna
point,
be the place of abundance. If you learn how to advertise, you learn how to enroll, you learn how all the things that we have to teach. You're gonna be such in a place of abundance, then that you won't need to do that. If they're not committed, you don't want sure you could enroll them. Sure, they could give you some money, but if you know already that in a week or two they're gonna give up, it's better not to invite them right away, so that they don't give you headaches.
Yeah.
Because otherwise you're gonna be with your wife or with your husband and with your kids, and you're gonna receive a text message where they want you to get their money back, and now you have to handle that. Well, it's better not to give yourself headaches like this.
Yeah. To Eric's question, he was asking, like, how do you know? And like you say, you'll kind of get to where you'll figure it out. It'll be pretty clear. But there will be times when, like I'm saying, you kind of take you're like, I can't quite tell on this one. I'll take a risk and I'll give you a shot kind of thing. That's when, like I say, the contracts come into play. But yeah, you're not always going to know exactly, but having an abundance mindset of knowing, like, if it's not you, someone else is waiting to come in the door. That's really where the money's at, in my opinion, is knowing that, being in a place where you legitimately can tell them, you're like, look, dude, if you don't want to sign up, like, it's not that big of a deal. I got this other guy who's ready and waiting. That's where the magic's at, in my opinion, that abundance mindset. But I do get that sometimes you take a risk on someone. You're like, you seem like you might have a shot at this. All right, I'll take a run, because, you know, we're compassionate and stuff like that. But yeah, there is a lot more value in knowing and being able to speak clear with them and being like, look, this may not be for you, you know, or better yet, I'm not for you, or you're not for me, or whatever. And being honest like that is important. May even be the catalyst they need to go change their life, you know?
Because if you're only 70% sure, or only 80% sure, or only 90% sure that you can help them, if there is a risk that they might actually not become your ideal clients, then I would just not invite them. My recommendation would be to only invite them if they're going to become your ideal client and it's a 100% sure. And then you can ask them whatever question you want to make sure of that before you invite them.
You know,
That's the
Well,
thing
I probably have a dozen right now that I want to fire. Right? I just, like,
sure, whatever.
You know,
Yeah.
you're not good. You know, you want to come in and just do weightlifting, just do your own thing. You don't want to be coached. You want to sit and talk to my coach after class and get a bunch of free info on your macros and this and that. And then, you know, but you don't want to lift up our community. I just, you know, even though you don't take classes and you're paying me $200, I kind of just don't want you around anymore. It's not about the money.
Yeah, it's either they have to pay you for the extra hand holding that they need, or if really they are a pain in the ass, you know, you don't need those clients anymore. So actually, when that happens, you know, Mark's recommendation or my recommendation, or, you know, the other consultants at MaxOut Gym, our recommendation would be to be like, okay, yeah, it's either, you know, you're willing to help them more, but they have to pay for it. And if they are not willing to pay for it, then yeah, it's okay to fire them. This is our recommendation, because also we know that, well, our clients know how to advertise and how to replace, you know, a client that would leave. Here, I don't know about your skills in terms of advertising, Eric. So I can't really tell you if you should do that or not. I would definitely tell that to one of my clients, to you, be careful, right? If you know how to replace those members, then yes. If not, then it can be tricky, yeah?
Something I was thinking of too is, like, as far as the question you asked earlier about what to do when a person first signs up, you know, or whether or not to take them, you know, something that can like, remembering that our objective is to help people, right? Like, we're in this business because we want to see people become healthy. My vision is to empower people to live an active and healthy lifestyle, and then to help gym owners do the same, right? If a person comes to you and you have to be the one that tells them that this isn't a good fit for, this is like in the initial setup, right? If you have to be the one that tells them that it's not going to be a good fit, or their mindset's not right, like, as far as just thinking about your vision and being able to, like, change people's lives, think about how impactful it could be. I mean, you're not going to get paid for this, right? But it's going to, I mean, the satisfaction is going to be high. Think about how impactful it could be to go to a gym and have the gym owner tell you you're not a good fit here because your mindset's not right. You know, like if you go home from that and you're like, well, screw that guy, I'm going to figure this out. And then but there begins your journey to, like, the healthiest, fittest you. I mean, it can be kind of a hard position to be in sometimes as a gym owner, but, like, man, you did that guy a big service, because now they are actually starting what they should have been starting all along. And they're doing it with more motivation than they ever had, because they're not just expecting you to do it. They're taking it upon themselves now. So it's kind of a cool deal being able to be honest with them in that way. But anyway, that's my last thought on that.
Yeah. So that being said, Eric, only invite your ideal clients, right? But that being said, you've been a gym owner, CrossFit gym owner for 10 years, you said, right? 10 years. The CrossFit of 10 years ago is not the CrossFit of 2021, right? It's over. Because before, maybe 10 years ago, you didn't have too many, CrossFit gyms around. Now, I'm sure that you have a bunch of other CrossFit gyms. 10 years ago, you were part of the first ones. You're an OG, right? If you've been a CrossFit gym owner for 10 years, you're an OG. You can't run your gym, like 10 years ago now because of the competition. And so let's say that we have 5% of people who are elites in their mind. Yeah. It means that if we have 2,000 people, right, we have 100 people who are elites, right? So let's say in your area, it's only 2,000 people, but 5% of them are elite in their mind. And they would do something like CrossFit, right? Flip tires, muscle ups, barbell and snatches. They don't care if it's cold outside. You need to have a specific mindset for, the OG CrossFit, right? That's 100 people. Sure, if you're the only one in that area of 2,000 people, you would get those 100, right? But now, if let's say you have other competitors sharing those 2,000 people, then you would just get what? 20 of them. And with 20, well, you don't have a gym, you don't have a business, right? And so it means that because you have more CrossFit gyms now, you can't just rely on people who are elite in their mind and that don't care about flipping tires and don't care about, working out in a garage. That's why they are called box, the CrossFit boxes. Walking out in the garage and you know what I mean? And even if it's cold outside, they would do it. Now, if you want to grow your gym, you also have help Mrs. and Mr. Jones, you also have to help John Doe and Sally Smith, right? And so John Doe and Sally Smith, maybe they didn't work out in the last 5 years, and they might probably need some mindset coaching, some nutrition coaching, right? So sure, only invite your ideal clients, but also realize that, we are not 10 years ago now, we're in 2021, and there is more CrossFit gyms around. Also some other gyms that are doing functional training, right? CrossFit changed the game of fitness, right? But now there are a bunch of other gyms that kind of do like CrossFit. They are not CrossFit affiliated, but they still do functional training, right? So now you have a bunch of competitors around. You have to adapt your delivery. You cannot just rely on people that already have a killer mindset and that already know how to eat. You cannot just rely on those kind of people. You also have to get the ones that don't know shit about nutrition and want to play video games instead of going to a CrossFit box.
I want to clarify. This is not to say by any means that now your ideal client is no longer valuable. It's all the more it is. It just means that now
the ones that are elite in their mind, sure, let's get them, but we cannot only rely on those ones, right?
Yeah, it just means that now we have to have an offering that's more diverse to be able to generate more big bucks. And like I was saying in the beginning, that's also too where it gives you an opportunity in the beginning. It's mostly just like, here's how the classes go. Let's do this. I think it also opens up a lot of doors to have your staff grow their streams of revenue and grow their income as you multiply your streams of revenue to accommodate for Sally and John Doe and so on and so forth.
Yeah,
as they go.
That's a bigger challenge. Staffing as a whole, that's a whole nother thing, and how to keep them motivated. I mean, I will say that since our COVID shutdown, we were only shut down for 6 weeks, but we immediately lost about 30%. And, slowly over the next few months, we lost another, 20, but out of my 180 now, 60 are new members. So over this year, 50% of my membership is new.
Right.
So, that's a blessing in a lot of ways, right? As we reinvented our culture over our shutdown and, shifted things. you know, all of anybody that was kind of not super happy was gone.
They're
Right.
gone, yeah.
So now I have a new opportunity to set the culture with all new minds. Right.
Exactly.
And knowing that we can add 60 members back, you know, now if I wasn't continually losing them with more and more extended, you know, stuff, you know, when this sort of situation changes and we have a stronger retention and we're adding that many members, will be a great gym and, you know,
Yeah,
a few more
definitely.
months. So we're okay with that.
Yeah. Yeah. The adding staff to the game can definitely be a challenge in my opinion, but that's where I always go to, you know, the same thing that inspires your clients to get back in the game, like if they've been out for a while or whatever, is also the same thing that I use to inspire my staff. It's always, here's what my vision is, here's what our mission is, and I hope that when I cast that line, you agree with it enough in your heart to believe in it and to want to pursue it together with me, and be it to pursue it as a member or as a team member, either way, you know. And that's been crucial for me, is casting out that vision constantly. Because I mean, another thing to think about too, if you guys are all the owner, like what if you have an off day or off month or off series of months, you know, where you're not doing so awesome yourself? Well, then your clients, your staff, you know, your team, whatever, they're not going to be able to adhere themselves to you as closely as maybe they have in the past. Well, you shouldn't be exclusively your business. You know, you should have a vision and a mission that establishes what your business is. And then people can distance themselves from you. People can distance themselves from you a little bit as needed. That way you don't have to be everybody's everything, right? I can distance myself from from Remy just a little bit in the MaxOut program and not have to rely on him constantly, because he has an infrastructure built out with a mission and a vision that's very clear, and I can just pursue it. I don't have to be up his butt in order to know how to make ads. You know what I mean? And in your own business, you know, if your staff always relies on a relationship with you to be super good in order to be wanting to, you know, continue to pursue this mission or this vision together, well, what if you say something to them wrong or whatever, and then now they don't believe in you as a person anymore, right? That can be a weird position to be in. You don't want that. And instead you want to be in a position where kind of regardless of what you say, they believe in what your business is there for, and they believe in the mission of your business. And that's been, for me, a really good way to get my staff to be inspired by what we're doing, also in the same way that I get my clients to be inspired by it. It's the same concept.
Does that answer your question, Eric? Give the stand up, so it's good. Yeah, I just wanted to react on what you said, Mark. You spoke about the big bucks, you know, with you call it health coaching, I call it mindset coaching, is the same, right?
Yeah.
That's where you get the big bucks. And big bucks, and also it's low overhead, right? You don't need to buy equipment for that. You don't need more square footage for that. You can do that online. You know, that's very low overhead to actually do this mindset coaching. We might need the in-body, I mean, a body composition analyzer, right? But not even. That would just be for the progress tracking. Basically, it's like there is no overhead except the one, you know, taking the time to do that mindset coaching, right? So that's how Mark has a 50, 55, and even sometimes 60% profit margin with his business, right?
One of many. Yeah. Yeah.
That,
It's nice to be able to have a stream of revenue like that doesn't require anything. And for me, actually, my gym's closed on Thursdays. We just have open gym on Thursdays, which not everybody is into that, but it works great for us. And so I just packed out Thursdays full of clients that I wouldn't have otherwise.
yeah.
I just
And
have
you have a 5,000 square foot facility, yeah? 4,000 square foot.
Yeah. But I'm super efficient.
But yeah, you know how to optimize the space. You know how to optimize the equipment. You know how to optimize the coach's schedule. You know how to optimize equipment, space, coach's schedule.
Onboarding.
Yeah, everything.
Onboarding is a big key. We have optimized, and we use microphones when we coach, which is a lot of people think it's weird, but I don't know why CrossFit is not about it. I wasn't about it for a long time, but I finally gave in and tried it. And the onboarding process of getting new clients on board has never been easier, because now the guy over there in the back doesn't ever feel like I'm like yelling to them, but at all times I'm in a talking register, no different than the one I'm using right now. And the person who's brand new in the corner over there feels like they're able to follow along just as well as the person who is right up next to me. And I don't have to yell. At all times, it's a talking register, and they can hear me all throughout the entire facility. The microphones have been a huge game changer, as well as the program, being able to program for evergreen cycles.
Yeah, basically, we teach in the MaxOut Your Gym program how to have a tiered programming so that you can onboard a bunch of new clients. You know, if you do the full MaxOut Your Gym program, we show you how to generate 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, even 80 clients per month. Well, if you get that many new clients, you gotta keep up with the onboarding process. And so that's why we need a tiered programming, so that we have a programming, right? Workouts for beginners, workouts for intermediate level, and workouts for more advanced members. And so Mark teaches that in one of the modules of the MaxOut Your Gym program. And also we have a done for you service where you can actually get Mark's programming to help with the onboarding, and also to help with injuries, to help with retention. It helps with actually everything.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is with as coaches, you know, now I'm speaking specific to CrossFit here for the most part, but I can definitely help if you're not a CrossFit gym if needed. But you know, if you are, let's say a CrossFit gym here, and I don't want to get stuck in the CrossFit realm because I know there are gym owners that aren't CrossFit, but if you're onboarding new clients or trying to onboard new clients, and you know, everybody's new experience in the gym is always nerve-wracking. It's always uncomfortable. Everybody always feels weird at first when they get into the gym. The first thing is if they feel like what they're doing is well over their head, obviously, you know, it's going to be a struggle. If they can't hear, they can't understand what's going on. The music's too loud, or it's too much space between you and the coach or whatever, is another struggle. And here in Texas, I'll have new clients at like 105 degrees outside, and fans are on, and you know, it's hot. So it's like a tornado in the gym. You can't hear. So I have to be able to have the microphones, be able to get everybody. But I think the biggest difference between people who get new clients and maintain them versus from what I've seen, and people who something I hear a lot in the gym space is people are like, well, I only want 10 new clients per month. And I'm like, that's great, but you better never lose 11 one month. Because if you do, I mean, now you're going backwards. You know, in theory, you should never lose 11. Like 10 new clients per month sounds great. But retention is something that sometimes can be in question, because you never know when someone's going to, like, 5 people are all of a sudden going to have to move, and then that person is going to get sick. And you don't always know what you're up against. So I try not to put a number on it of any kind, and I try and just be plus whatever I'm losing, you know, and some amount of loss is always inevitable, but we have it very minimal. And so for me, one of the big goals is always to make sure that I can onboard a new coach in as short as a 2-week time frame, if I had to, so that if someone were to give a 2 weeks notice as a coach, I would be able to have 2 weeks to get a new coach ready. And you think to yourself, man, like, that seems too short. Like, there's a lot of things that a new coach is going to need to know in order to be ready to be able to know how to modify all this different stuff. Well, one of my coaches who's been with me for a while, I was asking about the programming and the whole experience and what it's been like. He's like, you know, what's really crazy is I've done personal training at other gyms, and I've done other different things. And like, you know, I have to like be on my A game and like be ready with options for, you know, different things for people. But like, I literally look at the board here and like, it's all done. Like, it's already there. Like, you already have your level 3, your level 2, level 1. I don't have to think about what I'm going to do. I literally just come in and I just enjoy teaching a class, and all the options are already on the board. And the flow of the class is smoother. You can have more people into a tighter space because everybody understands how the flow works. And a lot of times I think the success in being able to grow your gym can be determined by your ability to get new coaches quickly enough, because sometimes your coach moves, and then if your coach moves, then you're screwed. And so you need to be able to get new coaches quickly enough so that those coaches can onboard new clients quickly enough that you're not constantly running the rat race against your clients. So I think it's important to be able to get new clients and onboard them, obviously. But another thing that people forget about is that sometimes you got to get new coaches. And if everything's spelled out real easy for them, it's hard to mess that up, you know? So we try and have it such that just about any coach can teach any of the workouts any days, because there's guardrails for what level one's going to do. And they're always going to have like a simpler option, like, and feel completely a part of the gym. There's certain things that level one doesn't do to keep them from getting, you know, like overwhelmed. Like for instance, pulling from the ground, you know, they usually don't know how to do that. So that's one thing that doesn't really, we teach hinging in the most simple forms possible, stuff like that. And then what happens is pretty much any coach can do a really good job of taking care of a person's first day. And then you can onboard however many people you need to have, because you're ready for it pretty much at all times. So you're able to, you can have 30 new clients in a month if you wanted to. And it wouldn't be weird because your coaches they'd be equipped for it. Yeah, 30, 40, whatever you want. I just think from a sociological like perspective, if you had a gym of like 150 and you added more than 50, I think it would be socially, there'd be a social strain there. It'd be like, who are all these people? So I think like 30s, I mean, I've added 30 before and that was fine. At post-COVID, we had like the month after COVID, I think we added like 25 new people, and that wasn't weird, but that also was a weird deal. But yeah, having an evergreen system where people can just come in and know that there's going to be options available for them has been crucial for the gym owners in the MaxOut program, and implementing the ads and being able to take the people and onboard them and keep going. Because a lot of times what you'll see will happen is you'll get a new client to come in, you'll get them to sign up, and you'll spend all your time getting them ready, that you're like, ah, crap, I got to get the next one ready. And you just go spend all your time getting the next one ready and trying to go through this process of onboarding people. Well, if you go through 3 weeks worth of just coming to classes, you will have done a full fundamental system with us, just going through classes. And if you don't, and it cycles, right? Every 3 weeks, right? So if you miss a couple of classes in the 3 weeks, just come to 2 classes next week and you'll have it done. I mean, it's a revolving door, because there's 6 classes in the week. So it's just constantly revolving. You're never going to have to worry about, all you have to do is just come and you'll get all your on-ramp, all your fundamentals all in one. And then all of your onboarding those clients is just, it's like a snap.
Yeah, that's what we've done for a long time, is a constantly rolling set schedule for on-rampers. So like, we've got a couple of options, then, you know, and then if that doesn't work, then they pay up and they pay more and they come when they want to, and we pay a coach to come deal with those outliers.
So that's not quite what I'm referring to.
Oh.
This is within my classes. This is at all times, my level 1 is innately an on-ramp. It's not like there is no separate time.
Your whole programming includes, so
Yes.
you have programming that constantly.
It's evergreen on-ramped in the standard class program. Yeah. So if you look on the board, like, because I used to do what you're talking about, where you have like an on-ramp time frame or whatever, and I don't know, it just didn't work for me. I constantly having to keep it staffed was the biggest pain in the ass ever. I wanted to be able to just onboard a new client and just be like ready to go. So now at 5:15 a.m.
is that you have a start date and the end dates, and then it doesn't work really well when you're onboarding a bunch of new clients. You know, you want them to start right away.
Yeah, so it's like literally the day they come, 5:15 a.m., 6:45 a.m., 8:30 a.m., noon, you know, 4:30, 5:30, 6:30. Every single class has a level 1 in it, and every single day the level 1 is the on-ramp at all times. And it's cyclical enough that in 3 weeks they'll hit all the stops. So we're constantly golden there. It makes the onboarding process of getting new clients like so much easier. Like, there's no hassle to it. Just show up and you're good.
Yeah. And then here, I'm just sharing my screen. Do you see my screen? You see here, June 24th, 2020, right? The midst of the pandemic, right? That's Guido here, from 75 to 150 members in just 30 days, right? That plus 75 clients in just 30 days. If you don't have an onboarding like this that is evergreen, you can't get
Right.
75 new clients in just 30 days. You can't. You need to have that down.
Yeah, there's no way I could do this with a rolling on ramp, like a true on ramp. No way. It'd be so stressful. I mean, I remember back in the day when it was just me and my wife, or it was just me actually for a while. And eventually I asked my wife to start doing like 2 classes a week so I could run on ramps. And like 3 weeks later, I would just be like smoked, you know? And then that fatigue that I experienced ends up being like dollar signs, because now you got to pay coaches to be there for it. And so I don't, that's, to me, always felt like it was money out the back door that I didn't want to have going away from me. And so now the evergreen approach, to where it's at all times level 1, is both fundamentals as well as just a good workout. Then level 2 is basically RX, and level 3 is like, you know, RX plus. It's so smooth. It's like, I can tell you the gym owners that we have that have done it versus the ones that haven't. It's so much easier for them to onboard. It's like, by comparison to the ones who don't, they don't have to think about, like, you already got enough things to think about. You're thinking about your ads, following through on getting people signed up, getting everybody registered, all this different stuff. Last thing you want to be thinking about is how to deliver your service. You know, you want that just like done, and just show up and you're good, you know?
Yeah. Here, I just wanted to explain something here. You see, Guido had a 100% closing rate, right? With the process I explained on day 3. You might call bullshit on this. It's not. It's because actually, before the appointment, he was speaking with them over the phone, right? And already he was asking, on a scale from 1 to 10, how committed are you? If they were not saying 10, he was just canceling the appointment, right? And then that's how he got that 100% closing rate. Okay. Mark, could you please explain that? Sure, we might attract people, you know, with short programs. We might say things like, we have a variety of offer from just 6 weeks up to a whole year. So, you know, we speak about the short trial, basically 6 weeks or 8 weeks or 12 weeks options. We speak about this, but can you please explain that actually what's happening for you is that you're enrolling 95% of your prospects into actually premium memberships.
Yeah, sorry, I'm freezing. I wasn't equipped to be outside or in the garage. I thought my garage was more heated than it was, honestly, but not. Anyway, so yeah, I think the ultimate downsell that you could ever ask for is your premium membership, right? So if you have, like, let's say you have like a challenge or something that hooks people's attention. It's not a free challenge. It's not a bullshit. Here's this free thing. Come to this free thing. It's like, hey, here's a 6-week challenge. If you want to be a part of it, that's something you can do. Is you can hook people with that and have them come in. And if they come in, they want to ask about it. You learn about them and what they're interested in. And you say, you know, you've told me that you want to lose 40 pounds or, you know, 20 kilos, whatever it is. And in order to do that, it's going to take more than, you know, just like 6 weeks. And ultimately, my biggest goal for you is I want to see you be successful at this long term. I have this 6-week challenge that costs, you know, let's say $500 for 6 weeks, but it sounds to me like what you really need is to do this ongoing. And I want to see this be the last thing that you ever have to start, because you stick with this. So what do you say we shoot for something that I can see you be accountable to this long-term with? And I think a better option for you is going to be to do our standard membership. It is cheaper. I don't make as much money on this as I would if I were to have you do obviously the $500 thing, because it costs more. But I get the opportunity of seeing you see your health all the way through to the end, and, you know, be a person who has a journey started and you're rolling, trying to establish health as a as a long-term commitment rather than just, you know, up front. What do you think about that? And to me, like, I do almost all of my sales that way, because, like, I'm not against doing a challenge, but in my opinion, because my programming is evergreen, and because my gym is literally just so fluid, they can just come in at any point. I'd rather them just come in and be consistent and just stick with it. And so for me, it's kind of like a mindset thing too. If somebody's got a mindset that they just want to do something for 6 weeks, that's fine. But that gives me 6 weeks to change your mind and realize that you really need to be doing this long term. And so if I can get them to change their mind to a long-term mindset right away, I prefer to, for sure. And so that's usually what I do. I don't really sign many people up for a challenge of any kind, because they see right away that my vision is to empower people to live an active and healthy lifestyle. And they see that I can't do that by making myself a nice little box and then putting a check in it. You know, it's not like fitness. Okay, check. Like Remy used to be like a pro athlete. Okay, now therefore he's fit for the rest of his life. Like, it doesn't work like that. You know, we all know that it's something I have to continue doing. And I cast that vision. I cast the vision of my mission into these conversations and see if they align with it. And if these people align with this vision that I have, then they see the importance of the longevity approach. And when I pull out a 12-month contract, they're like, that is exactly what I'm talking about. That's what I want right there. I'm like, okay, cool. Well, it sounds like we're on the same page. Let's do it.
Yeah. So it means here, Eric, then if let's say your prospect is, a guy 30 years old that has been doing CrossFit for the last 3 years, sure, maybe you would just sell, your $150 membership for exercising only. Now, if it's Sally Smith that didn't do anything in the last 10 years, and and you feel that she would need some nutrition coaching, then you would sell her a membership more at 250 or even 350, so that you really help, with the nutrition, but also mindset, progress tracking, accountability coaching. And if you charge, 350, 400, even you can go up to 500 or more, you would be able to provide that accountability coaching, that nutrition coaching, without feeling resentful against that Sally Smith, because she would pay for that, right? You would not feel resentful against her.
Yeah, and I think like the key to being able to execute on that is having your 3 different streams of revenue, or however many streams of revenue. Typically in a gym, you're going to have 3, right? Usually you're going to have, I'll do my 3 the way Remy does his 3s. So I'm over like this and he goes like that. I don't know. That's how they do it in France, apparently. But your first stream of revenue is obviously going to be either like some kind of a training, most commonly, like be it personal or group, right? And then if group is your first thing, then probably personal is your second stream, and then the nutrition or health coaching or whatever you want to call it is like or mindset coaching, whatever it is your third. Or you may just have 2, like group, and then we have one guy who can't. He's a franchise, so he's not allowed to have personal training. It may be the other way around. You may be a personal training with no franchise, and or with no group, and you're just, some kind of a training and then some kind of a nutrition, something like that. I would sell them as individual membership components. I say put like this, there's 2 ways you can do this. You can sell them as individual membership components. That way the person recognizes that they're signing up for like an additional thing, which helps keep them from being a pain in the ass, because they understand that there's something additional that they're signing up for. Kind of like Remy's saying, like, they get that they're paying for this thing, and they get that they're paying more because they're getting this additional thing, which makes it easier for you to execute on the thing that they're paying for, like Remy's talking about. So let's say, like for me, I have a lot of folks who will do this. They're like, okay, I want to do the gym membership, and then I want to sign up for a nutrition membership too. And that's how it works, is they sign up for the gym membership, let's say $180 for a gym membership. And then they sign up for the nutrition membership, which is also $150. And so now they have this premium membership that's 180 plus 150. It's like, I can't math right now because I'm cold, but whatever, 370, 320, I don't know, something like that.
You said 180?
180 and 150. Yeah, 330, right? Yeah. So that's a pretty legit membership right there. They have their nutrition component, and then they have their gym component. And what I kind of like about that is I sign them up as 2 separate things, but I sell them what they need in that way. Like, okay, cool. Well, you're going to do the gym and it's going to cost this much. And I think you're going to need nutrition too. Yeah, 330. Thank you. And it's kind of like, if I were to do personal training with them for like $800 a month, or and this is where I think a lot of times CrossFit gyms or group fitness gyms go wrong, is people really do pay between $500 and $1,000 a month for personal training. Get that through your head. That's just a thing. People just do it. Whether you think it makes sense or not, it happens all the time. And
or even without personal training, as long as you give them the results, because the truth is that you don't need to provide personal training, for the exercising part for them to get the results. They just need to work out, they need to be healthy, they need to have their mindset right, they need to sleep well, and they need to manage their stress. As long as they get the results, you can charge 500 or 1,000 a month, right? It's actually without, you can also do it without PT, yeah?
Well, that's what I'm saying, is like people spend that much money on personal training to get someone to pay for a class and a nutrition consultant, like for, the same price. That, I mean, at that point they can feel like they're getting twice the value. I mean, it's completely reasonable to be able to sell somebody on something for $200 for classes and then 150 or $200 for nutrition consulting. That's still only $400 a month, which seems like, oh my gosh, $400 a month. But like the other option is you could have a personal trainer that costs you $800 a month. I mean, that's very much really a thing. People really do pay that kind of money on that kind of thing. So to ask somebody to pay $150 for a gym and $200 for a gym and $150 for nutrition is like very reasonable, very reasonable. And it allows you an opportunity to have your staff build out a stream of revenue for themselves. You cut that in half and let them have half,
Exactly. Because at 800 a month or 1,000 a month, it's still not guaranteed they're going to get the results, because it's only going to be the exercising part, right? They're still not going to get the help on nutrition, mindset, accountability, progress tracking, stress management, sleep. They need everything to get the results, right? So when you do that right, yeah, you can have 200, 300, 400, 500 plus for your memberships, and without PT.
Yeah, and I do think it's cool that they can feel like they're getting more out of it, because they don't necessarily have to have someone holding their hand in order for the fitness to work. They can do, like, if you're meeting with them regularly with nutrition, then ideally what should be happening is they should be changing their mindset, changing how they view themselves, such that whenever they do come into the gym for your classes, they're going to get more out of it. Right.
Any questions, Shandy, Eric, Judith?
Are you closing for today? I just had some questions about the app. I was hoping you could show us a little bit about them.
Of course, actually, I want to speak about this right now, yeah. But except the MaxOut All-In-One Platform, about the app, any questions about those 5 days that we spent together? Is that clear how you're going to be able to generate 10K in 10 days if you execute on this?
Yeah, I just want to thank you for that, because you really taught me a lot, and I'm at the beginning of the road. But yeah, it was really, really useful.
My pleasure. Yeah, we want you to experience a quick win. We want you to survive, right? You guys are super, super important, to prevent chronic diseases, to prevent from people going crazy, also with their mental health. You guys are very, very important. I care about that. Mark cares about that. So if we can give you that quick win so that you can win, so that your clients can win, then ultimately later on, maybe also, to be honest, MaxOut regime would win also, right? If we can keep you around, and so if you don't close your gym, hopefully in the future, maybe you'll think about us if you want to grow even more.
Definitely.
No take question.
I have one last thought. I need to run. I have one last nugget, and then I need to run. Just kind of wrapping up some of the stuff we talked about today. Like some of the questions we had, it's important to select your ideal clients. It's also important to have an abundance mindset, knowing that if you don't have your ideal client right in front of you, you probably do right over there, and they're the next one in line and they're waiting to get in the door. Remy can help you establish a system in which you can use the Max Out Your Gym system to, if you don't have confidence that you can just turn around and right behind you, there's people knocking on the door to get in. it's important to be able to have that abundance mindset. And so don't hesitate to use his knowledge to help you to be able to establish that stuff. I mean, having the abundance mindset, when it's used with accuracy, is one of the biggest leveraging assets that you can have in your business, because then it helps you to sift through bullshit a whole lot faster and take care of what actually matters in your gym, and help you get rid of some of that issues that, like you were talking about, Eric. If you got some people who are not necessarily advantages to your gym, man, like the more that you know that those people are sitting right behind you waiting to get in the gym, the easier it is to not want to tolerate people who are disrespectful. Anyway, so there's that. And the other thing I was just say is just like, remember guys, when it comes to like when you're reaching out to these people, sending texts and sending videos or whatever it may be, remember, nobody's going to do something because you told them to do it. People are only ever going to do something because you managed to find a way to inspire them into doing it. So in every time that you're doing this, you don't have to create a relationship with this person each time, but you do have to allow them to see your heart. So they don't get a piece of your heart. They don't need that. But what they need is they need to understand where your heart is on this stuff. And your heart is, I want to change your life, and I want to empower you to live an active and healthy lifestyle. And if you can do that, if you can show them your heart and your true desire to empower them to live an active and healthy lifestyle, then you're going to be able to get people, lining up one after another. So I'm excited for you guys. It's going to be good.
Thank you so much, Mark.
All right, guys, I got to run. I got kids running around crazy. So great talking to y'all. I look forward to chatting with y'all more. If anybody decides that they're interested in the Done For You programming, let me know. I'd be happy to give you a week free to try out that, see if it's something you think would be a good fit for your gym.
Thanks, Mark.
All right, guys, talk to you soon.
So yeah, if you want to learn more about the full-on Max Out Your Gym program, you can just go to maxoutyourgym.com, maxoutyourgym.com/masterclass, so that you can learn more about the full-on program. Here we spent 5 days together, but it was just about one play, which is upselling members, following up with old leads. We have so many other things to teach, right? We spoke about programming here, but we spoke also about systems and delegating, and we can also help you with your advertising. We have so many other things to teach you here. That was just one tiny thing, that one of the things that we teach, right? And we have so many others. So if you want to learn more, that's maxoutyourgym.com/masterclass. Let's speak about tech a bit. Mark said that it's important to like follow up, right? The other day, yesterday, I showed you how to just send one text. Actually, you can continue to follow up with them. I'll show you how to do that. You will go to marketing, and then you go to campaigns, and then you create a new campaign, right? Maybe you say current clients campaign, right? Save. And then you would add an event. Here you can text them, you can Facebook Messenger them, you can email them, you can call them, you can drop them a voicemail, right? You can do a bunch of things. Let's say we start by SMS. You would send an SMS, right? Here you can click on custom value, contacts, first name. You can say, hey, first name. And then, one of the templates, one of the messages that I sent you, right? It's within the group, right? And then you would save that. And then what you can do is that you add an event, and then you add an SMS, and then you have a follow-up message, right? Save. Except that here you would change, and you would say after, send after. Maybe you send another message 2 days after, right? And then add events, and then SMS, and then you say something, save, and you'd send a message 7 days after. So that's 7 days after the SMS number 2, right? So total, so here's 7 days. So total here, you would have wait 9 days. That SMS number 3 would send on day number 9, okay? And then you can also do calls, you can do Facebook Messenger, you can do emails, and you would keep following up like this. What's cool is that here we have an option that says stop on response. It means that if they reply to one of your text message or your email, that would stop the sequence. It's not like you're gonna be pestering them. You're not gonna be harassing them. You know what I mean? We're gonna stop the automated sequence automatically by having that on. Okay, so that's how you would create a campaign. Basically, in the first message, that's one of the messages that I gave you, and then SMS number 2, SMS number 3. You can write, another message here to follow up with them. And then what you would do is you would go back to your contacts, and then you would go find, here for this case, our current clients. Yeah. Let's say you have a tag for your current clients, right? We imported the CSV. You would say add filter. You would say tag. And let's say actually I want to select you guys, right? The 10K in 10 days, February 15, 2021. That's you guys, right? I select all of you, the ones that registered for this session, for this particular session, 35 people here. And then I would say add to campaign. I would click here, and then I would click on current clients campaign. If I click on add to campaign, so you can drip it. I would drip it if you have a bunch of members, especially if you have a bunch of old leads. I would drip it, but then you would add to campaign, and that's it. You would start the campaign, and that would not just be one text, but that could be up to 10 texts if you want to follow up a lot until they reply. Right? Make sense?
Hey, I just wanted to say something about your SMS. You have to be really, really careful when you're using Trello to keep your SMS messages very, very small, because of, especially if you're going to use any emoji cons, because it will, with different carriers and stuff like that, it will break them up, and it could send them in backwards order and out of order. And, I've used Trello before. If you send your messages, if you're going to have a long message, break them up into multiple messages beforehand with a little wait period, even if it's very short, just so that the recipient gets all the pieces in the proper order. And if you shorten use like Bitly or something to make short links,
Right.
because a long link will break into 2 messages and it won't be clickable, and it's really frustrating for people. So just be careful with that.
Yeah, that's a great tip that you shared here. I'll show you how to have shorter links. If you go to marketing and you go to trigger links, you will click on add link. And here you can have a long ass link, right? HTTP. Oops.
Guys, I need to go. Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you, Judith. I'll see you
Bye-bye.
soon. Keep us posted
Yes.
in the Facebook group about the results you're gonna get, okay?
Yeah. Bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye-bye. Right, if you have a very long link, here you would just call it, you would just give it a name, whatever. Save. Okay. And now if I go back to my current client campaign, if in my SMS number 2, I want to add that longest link, I would click on long link. Okay. That would select this, save. And now if I test it with my phone number, 909 3749, that's my phone number. I'm just sending a test SMS right now. I'm gonna close that. And now if I go to my conversations, actually the link here, has been shortened. That's the way you would do it. Okay. Also, Eric, I think you were asking about those links that we have here: KPI analytics dashboard, KPI detail metrics, customer pricing, accountability tracking, and gym settings. We just created your accounts, Eric. And so right now, you don't have access to this because our developer is actually developing for you those features here. It's custom programming. And so we're working on it. In a few days, you're gonna have those other features here.
I was just curious about what they are.
Right. If I show you real quick, let me show you, for instance, a template here. If you go to, I need to refresh. And also with this tool, that's how we build also, the ads. That's how we build the funnel. We can do a bunch of things with this tool. Here, I only showed you, what we needed for the 10K challenge in 10 days. But we can do a bunch of other things, right? Okay, I just need to refresh because here I changed the account. Okay, so if I click on now KPI analytics dashboard, once our developer would have set this up for you, Eric. Basically, it's a dashboard for your client acquisition, right? So it's still loading here, where you would see your scheduling rates, your show up rate, your enrollment rate, and also your success rate. And also you would see your front-end revenue, your back-end revenue, your back-end projected, your front-end plus your back-end plus your projected back-end, the number of signups, the number of memberships, the front-end you have on the front-end, the return on ad spend. ROAS means basically ROI, but for ad spend. It's a return on ad spend. It's a return on investment. So that's on the front end. What does that mean, front end? It means, well, the first months right away. And then what does that mean, back end? It means when you wait for the monthly payments, right? The memberships payments. And then if you wait for 12 months because of the 12 months membership, then we can also calculate the total return on ad spend. Here you would have, let's say, for instance, if you advertise your Facebook ad spend, and then you would also know your cost per acquisition, right? And so here, that's what we do at MaxOut Gym. You can get this kind of cost per acquisition where you would spend $30, and then for each $30 that you spend, you get a new client. How many times would you like to do that when a new client pays you minimum $150? How many times would you like to do that? An unlimited number of times. And then we have also KPI detail metrics where we can look at more metrics so that you can really analyze. I would use that when when I work with my clients to really analyze what's going on, with their client acquisition, and then provide some recommendations based on what I see, right? And then also we have an accountability tracking. Let's say if you onboard people on a 6 or 8 week or 12-week program, maybe you want to do weekly check-ins and you want to track their weights, you want to track their body composition. We also do that here. You can also do it for your members. Yeah. Basically, that's it. Real quick, Eric. Does that answer your question? All right.
I guess customer pricing is just a quick cheat sheet for you to look at when you're chatting.
Well, it's just that now you don't have a one-size-fits-all membership. You don't have a one-size-fits-all program. You're going to have probably a membership for workouts only. And then you're going to have a membership for instance, workouts and nutrition and accountability and mindset coaching. And then maybe for, let's say, 5% of your clients, you have a VIP membership where it's exercising, nutrition, mindset, accountability, progress tracking, but also they would speak with Lauren once a month, an expert mindset coach, but also you would help them with their stress. You would also help them with their sleep. You would also help them with stretching, with breath work, and with whatever else. And you also include some supplements, let's say, whatever, right? Now you have 3 memberships at least, or actually you can even have more options, right? So it's for you to type, okay, for that particular member, you know, it's that much. For this other member, it's that much, so that we can calculate in the dashboard actually what's really happening in terms of revenue. So hold on, I'm just gonna show you real quick. That would look like this. You see, you would mention, if they do a challenge, you would mention the price of the challenge. We don't have a one size fits all. Here it's 500, here it's 600, here it's 800, 800, 1000 here. We have the months to months, we have the 6 months, we have the 12 months, and then we have the price. Here is 220, here's 195, here's 250. It depends, right? It can go up to 500 or more for the membership. It depends.
Thank you.
Make sense? All right, that's been a long one, this one, yeah? Any other questions? Are you clear on how you're gonna be able to upsell clients? And even if you don't upsell them, still have that one-on-one heart-to-heart conversation to at least improve your retention, all right? And then, yeah, follow up with your old leads. Seriously, guys, if you execute on this, 10K is really not that hard, right? You can definitely do it. All right.
So Remy, what is like the next step if we wanted to get like more information or something like that? Like, are you going to be reaching out to us or just follow on the Facebook page?
About the 10K in 10 days challenge, or about if you want to continue with us with the full program?
Just more information on the program and what's offered.
Yeah. So what I would recommend, I posted here in the chat room. It's maxoutyourgym.com/masterclass if you want to learn about the whole program. And then once you're done watching that video, it's only 27 minutes. Once you're done watching that video, if you want, you'll be able to schedule a call with me so that we can make sure that you could be a fit for the program.
All right. Thank you.
Any other questions? Eric, you're good? Yeah. Generate this money, right? And then if you want more, if you want to learn how to now generate brand new leads from advertising, and also so many other things, right? The programming, the systems, the delegating, all the other things that we have to teach. Then you can watch that video, that masterclass, schedule a call with me, and we'll see if you could be the right fit for this program. All right, guys. So please, don't hesitate to ask questions within the Facebook group. Also, share your results, or if you have questions while you're having those consultations. Don't hesitate to post questions. Don't hesitate to reach out. You can friend me on Facebook. You can send me messages on Facebook Messenger, and yeah, share your wins in the Facebook group. Okay. All right. I'll see you soon.
Thank you.
Bye bye.